Welcome to Whachacha's Tabletop World, a channel devoted to the love of board gaming. My name is Sweetness Whachacha, and today is my overview and thoughts on Murder of a Musician. So this will be a spoiler-free video, but first we're going to kind of go through the items that are contained in the packet so you can get an idea of what you're buying, and then we'll come back and I'll just give my brief spoiler-free thoughts about that. So firstly, it's going to come inside of one of these evidence bags, which is super cool. And then inside of the folder, this particular one comes with two parts. You're going to get two different envelopes, one that you'll open first and go through, and then at some point you'll be instructed to open the second one. I'm not going to show you anything in the second one, although mainly it's just the same kind of thing you'll see here. Firstly, you saw this little this cool little value reward card, which feels, completely like realistic. You're going to get a listing of the things inside to make sure that you're not missing anything. You're going to get things like letters, photographs from the doorbell cam, some, text message strings, internal memos. This actually is the first thing that you read. It just describes what you're going to be doing in the case, and it gives you instructions on when to go into that second envelope, and also how to get online. Each of these contains some online parts. There's a map of some of the locations necessary in the case. You're going to get this is some social media postings. There's forensic findings, this cool little magazine about the victim, which is like a full color, feels like a really, like a real little pamphlet type magazine. Very nice, shiny share certificate. Again, a record jacket. This is based on a musician, of course, and this is the last album, which is pretty cool. I mean, it doesn't have a record in there, but it's pretty legitimate looking. Parking ticket on a different kind of paper, and then there's a slew of these, which are all witness statements that you're going to get to go through from all of the important people in the case. So, and that's kind of the rest of that, and then some emails and things like that. And you're going to get the same kind of thing in the next envelope as well. So what are my thoughts on this? Firstly, let's just start more generically about the system, about the way the game system works in general, and then I'll talk specifically about how I feel about this case in general. So I played 4 of these so far. I found them to be very enjoyable, and this nature of a game, you just sort of open the folder and then you go at your own pace. It doesn't matter how long it takes you. You just read through. And you'll read information and you'll internalize it and then decide why that's important, set it aside, and then later on you'll think, oh, what was that again? I think I saw this somewhere else, and you'll go back and you'll kind of revisit all those pieces of information over and over again. So one really cool thing about this system is that normally, in my background of playing many board games that are mystery based, is often there is, they have to constrain you in some way, because if you read everything or got all the information, then you would just be able to solve the case. And usually those have some kind of a time focus or time penalty, and so you can't see everything and you have to sort of make these deductive leaps. Here you get everything, and you just have to go through and kind of figure out what's important and why. So it's very well done, and it's very kind of a cool way to do it. Now, all of the information that you're getting, all the things that you're looking through, they're all like as I showed in the overview. The paper is different textures, different qualities, different styles, so that it feels different. And it really does feel like, and you get all these little extra pieces and bits in there, like hard plastic, or and it really does feel like you're going through actual items and actual papers and stuff, and that really does help with the immersion, and I think that's really cool. Also, the addition of the online stuff, whether that, and again, I'm not going to spoil it, so I'll just say in general, whether you're getting video or audio clips, or news clips and things like that, it's really kind of cool to be able to see that and to mix up the kinds of information you're getting. It really kind of feels realistic. Before on other reviews of this, I've kind of mentioned that it kind of feels like you're the sole detective, and you've gone into retirement, and somebody's come up and just said, hey, listen, we can't solve this case. And they set the box down. Here's a bunch of information. Here's the files and everything. Why don't you see if you can take a look? And that's kind of what it feels like. You just get yourself a cup of tea, maybe some kind of a snack, and then you're just sipping your coffee and going through the information, and it's quite fun. I've played these solo. which are very enjoyable. It generally takes between 1 and 2 hours, depending on what kind of a pace you go at. I've also played them with multiplayers, and I think both are fun. It's fun to just kind of introspectively, like, I wonder what this is, and kind of looking through, and it's a nice little solo activity. But of course, working in a group or with more people, you can bounce ideas and stuff, and that can be very enjoyable as well. Read a piece of information, and then sort of reflect as a group as to what you thought about it. And there's enough information here where people can be looking at different things. If you want, you can take it piecemeal, and everybody can look at the same thing at once. If you prefer, everybody can look at things separately, and that gives everybody their own little job, and they can say, "Ooh, I have something about that." So you can kind of decide how you're going to parse out that information, and I think that's a nice little thing for just your particular group or personal taste. Now, more specifically, Murder of a Musician so far is, now I'll say, Cryptic Killers. I love this style of system. It's my that and Chronicles of Crime are my two favorites right now for mystery games, and I really do enjoy mystery games. This one I think is the best of the 4 that I played so far, and I've got reviews for all of those. I think all of those on my channel. And yeah, it's a really, because and this is why. So first of all, the information you get and everything. This is, I think, the 4th one they released, 3rd or 4th one released, and so you can see that they're getting better and better at these. But also, there's a lot of stuff to go through, and I like having those. The fact that it splits the information in this one, and I think it's kind of cool because then you get to look through the information, you make an assessment on certain things, and then it's kind of nice to get that refreshing, like, here's the second bit of information. It's not like that extreme, but it is kind of a nice way to break it into parts a little more. I like the idea of being able to go after everything, but I also think it's kind of cool that not all the information, that kind of forces you to focus a little more, so it's not so scattershot, and it allows you to, like, I don't know, for whatever reason, it really helps with the pacing. I feel like breaking that up. Although it wasn't super extreme, it was kind of a nice touch. But I think mainly where this one shines, other than the components and the mix of components that you get, is really the idea that this is very complex. In some ways it's very complex, but in other ways it's not. And I think it's the most challenging, and I think that maybe that's why I found it was very, very interesting. And you need like multiple kinds of skills. Like you're doing the normal puzzles and things, and it's not quite escape room style of puzzles, but some of them kind of feel like that, and you're looking at things and trying to get rid of suspects and things. And there's a real like sort of human sense of it, like I think I know what's going on here, and you're using your intuition maybe, and kind of like what you know about human nature. But then also there's a really like the person has been, it's this right off the bat, they're kind of killed from food allergy, potential food allergy on a reed from a saxophone. And so there's you have to follow that chain of evidence as well, about the the murder weapon. I'm trying not to give too much away here. So really, there's these multiple kind of paths that you're taking in your brain to solve it, and I think it was just really well done. The setting itself doesn't really wow me. I tend to like it was like in the snowy mountains or something. Like that's the kind of thing that calls to me a little more. Getting poisoned with a reed, like a peanut allergy on this reed is kind of like, okay, it's kind of like an old Sherlock Holmes story, and I love Sherlock Holmes, but sometimes you get these kind of really singular, oddball little mysteries. And so I think this theme and the basis of it wasn't so exciting for me, but I think that the actual mystery was so robust that I found it to be really interesting. And each of the characters, or each of the suspects rather, had a very, had good motives and had opportunities and things, and it really puts you to the test here. So I think this one, I don't know if this one would be the one that I would start with. Maybe this is a good one to build up to because of that complexity, and maybe also because you don't want to start at the top sometimes. You want to start on some of the others and kind of get whet your appetite on it and then build to one of these. But yeah, I thought this was again easily the best one. A lot of red herrings, a lot of interesting things here. Really nice immersion, great production. I think in terms of this series, which I really enjoyed, this was my favorite so far. So hopefully that helps you to decide whether or not this product is for you. Let me know in the comments whether you agree, disagree, have any questions or anything like that. But for now, I gotta roll.